stuff. They can't tell us who we are. How can they tell us who we're not? Drop Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me hear the crowd. Oh, yeah. Thanks, King Drop.
Get 'em.
Got my stuff. Gonna put it on. Gonna wear this to the polls. I want somebody to say something to me. I really do. I just want somebody to say something to me. But I think this says it all. Holla. M.A.Truth out.
Truth out. If they can't tell us who we are, how can they tell us who we not, man? Love to Truth. Y'all subscribe to the truth, man. What else can you say after that? What else can you do but be the real thing when you rocking that? They can't tell us who we are. How could they tell us who we're not? Y'all ready to surf the wave? Get on our red leaves, autumn leaves, chill step 432. Shout out to the conscious vibe. I mean, all we're talking about is the Book of Eskra, God's Book of Eskra. Oh yeah, we still in that Oahspe. Love to Arthur Scott, love to Uno, love to everybody contributing, man. Just this fantastic journey. We're staying focused, man. We're staying focused. We're being who we are. We're loving who we are. We're loving who the Creator has designed us as a nation to become. We're loving the process of becoming. This is God's Book of Eskra. I mean, hey, we're jumping all the way in. I had to keep going, man. I mean, once you get your hold on this, man, it's a lot to build on. Of course, you got to dodge the hijack, but there's a lot of moving parts that seem to be fitting in places forgotten. So we're going to go right into it. This is, what's that, chapter 50, 53? 54? Alright, chapter 54. I don't speak Roman. God chastiseth the four false gods separately. Chastiseth. So they're getting chastised. The four false gods separately. Who are the four false gods? Who are the four false gods? So let's go. They say in Jehovah's name, hey. And always remember, man, when we say hey, when we talking hey, we're only talking Strong's Concordance. We're only talking 1961. Hey, a primitive root. To exist, to be, become, come to pass. All this is in this primitive root verb, hey. When the Most High says, I am, tell the people I am has sent you. I am to be established altogether, beacon, committed, break, cause, come to pass, do, faint, fall, follow, happen, last, pertain, require, to exist. When you speak vibration, you're speaking existence, you're speaking primitive root verbs. Hey, all that means to become, to come to pass, to happen. Alright, so don't try to hijack us with this Jehovah just to kill our vibration, but we're speaking hey. We're speaking to become, to exist, to establish. I am that I am, the Creator. In Hea's name, greeting unto thee, Lue Mong. Alright, we're going to learn about this Lue Mong. We're going to understand this Lue Mong. We read, in the previous part, how this Louis Mang also called himself, I believe, either Christ, or he kind of, so all these things are synonymous. This Brahma, Buddhist. Now look who keeps popping up. And I told you, Thoth never leaves us alone. Oh, if you ain't watched the 6-part series, the sinking of Egypt, the sinking of Atlantis, you got to go check it out so you understand the Emerald Tablets and what this Thoth Atlantean hijack, the predecessor of the Egyptian hijack, what these fallen angels and the celestial worship is all about, what their frequency is all about. And it ain't for you, my indigenous brothers and sisters. It was hijacking your frequency then, and it's hijacking your frequency now, which is why they're still using the same frequency and got to put the pyramid on the back of your dollar to remind you that the same frequency that enslaved you then is enslaving you now. In His name, greeting unto thee, Louis Mang. Thou hast a warrior angel, Thoth. Whoa, so this Louis Mang has a warrior angel named Thoth, alias Gabriel. We're just, you look it up. We're getting babies out the bathwater, so we gotta, save the babies. Alias Gabriel, who labored for me more than 1,000 years in order to make thee under thy false names worshipful on earth. So this Thoth labored for thee, Louis Mang, more than 1,000 years in order to make Louis Mang under thy false names worshipful on earth. Under what false names? Verse 3, and thou didst promise Thoth that when he overcame Dagon, Ashereth, Baal, and other false gods, thou wouldst give to him a heavenly sub-kingdom with 1,000 million subjects. So these promises were made to these angels. They thought they was going to have kingdoms. And this is a promise by this Louis Mang, going under lots of false names. So what do you know Louis Mang as? Clearly he overcame Dagon, Ashereth, Baal. Keep going. Thou wouldst give him a sub-kingdom. Alright? And Thoth did thus accomplish thy desire. But thou didst not give him anything. Okay. Is this some behind the scenes drop? The celestial drop? So Thoth came and hijacked the dog shit out of y'all. A long time ago. Long time ago, the magician put a slave vibration on you. He says it himself in Emerald Tablets. Got to get to that chapter 8. You got to get to that chapter 1. You got to get through it, and you got to put it together. And Thoth did thus accomplish thy desire, but thou didst not give him anything. But thou didst further exact of him the destroying of idol worship among mortals, and the destroying of oracle temples for consulting spirits, re-promising him that when he had fulfilled these things, thou wouldst give him the promised heavenly kingdom. And Thoth did accomplish these things also, but thou didst refuse again to fulfill thy promise, whereby Thoth rebelled against thee, and set up his present heavenly king, his dominions, inspiring his followers under the name Muhammad. Body bag. I would have never. They went right to that. I'm reading this with y'all. I never really get ahead when I always try to just find somewhere that feels good and we surf it together. You know, it's impossible to cover everything, so I just try to jump in. You know, sometimes it's a belly flop like this. Sometimes we start from the beginning. Sometimes from the end, you know what I mean? It's no real linear thing, but come on, man. Every time I open this up, it's like, I didn't see this coming, so I know you didn't see this coming. Maybe somebody had to drop Thoth Muhammad. But now it makes sense when you look at the, you know what I'm saying, the eye of Ra, the sun, the moon, and then he became more synonymous with the moon, and then the crescent. And the crescent represent that, and now you got the crescent over here. So now you got this energy coming out of this Muhammad, who's coming out with this doctrine, who's going against the Hebrews. Everything he's learned from the Hebrews, but he's switching the Sabbaths and he's doing this. And then now you got the Vatican records coming out, showing how they literally put this stuff together and trained up and built up this Muhammad. And train him in their schools in high level education. So that goes against the story that he just was uneducated and this happened and that happened. These are the layers behind the scenes. This is the unveiling. Now this Thoth, this hijack who worked for Liam wasn't getting his promises, but eventually he rebelled against his Liam, right? And set up his present heavenly dominions, inspiring his followers under the name Muhammad. O Thoth. And now behold, thou hast since that day tried to destroy him in heaven and on earth. Alright, so we're talking, you know, we're just talking, remember, we're just talking to Liam, Loemang. So Loemang, according to the creator, has been trying to destroy Thoth. Man, look at this. Look at these wars, right? And now behold, verse 8, behold, thou hast since that day tried to destroy him in heaven and on earth, but Thoth was anchored in earthly possessions in Jerusalem, Tethys, and Egypt. So because Thoth was anchored in earthly possessions in Jerusalem, Tethys, wherever that is, in Egypt, alright, and thou didst inspire mortals in Western Europa to make crusades against Thoth in order to possess Jerusalem and Tethys, whereby millions of mortals were slain and vast regions of country laid desolate. Let's back this up, man, because I want to go quick, but not that quick. Or as I mean, how you jump over all this? I told you this could be a 22 parts, you know, well, this ain't even Preston John. I ain't trying, you know, we might do like 3 different series at the same time. I mean, it might just have, we might just gotta go like that. But Thoth was anchored in earthly possessions in Jerusalem, Tethys. I gotta see what this is, man. Tethys. Yeah, it's probably one of those things, man, you really got to search for. But, you know, y'all tell me if y'all come up with something on that. I definitely would love to know. Alright. So Thoth was anchored in earthly possessions in Jerusalem, this place Tethys, and Egypt. And thou, Luamon, did inspire mortals in Western Europa, so Western Europe, to make crusades against Thoth in order to possess Jerusalem and Tethys whereby millions. So, man, crusades against Thoth. So are we talking about the crusades that were happening specifically in so-called Africa, Egypt, even the so-called Jerusalem in that particular area, the more Roman Jerusalem, all that kind of stuff like that. So we know that the Muslims had their control, Islam had control over Jerusalem there, the Roman Jerusalem there, and of course we got this Muhammad Thoth situation. So perhaps this is breaking down to that particular situation where, you got Rome, you got these crusades, these Christian crusades going up against, of course, the Moors and Muslim, that's in that Jerusalem there that have power over that, and whatever this Tethys is, which might be Tartaria, but I don't know, whereby millions of mortals were slain, and vast regions of the country lay desolate. Behold, thou hast pretended thou were all highest God, and yet thou were unable to take a small earthly kingdom. So this is the Creator talking to this false God. You pretended that you were the all highest God, and yet you were unable to take a small earthly kingdom. Thou didst also. And definitely we know we got Thoth and Atlantis here. So I know when we're talking about crusades, this is another side note, I think, we're talking about the whole shebang. I think Thoth had it on lock, man. Thoth had it on lock, from us being hijacked here and there. So he's saying that this Luamong is the one that stirred up the crusades against Thoth, Thoth had us on his own hijack, and then he got hijacked by this Luamong, But both of them were hijacking us. None of them were on our side but the Creator. We only got one. So behold, thou hast pretended thou were the all highest God. So he pretended he was the all highest God. The all highest God. Who is this Luamong? And yet thou were unable to take a small earthly kingdom. All right. Is this so-called Satan? Let's see. Thou didst also inflict dire punishment and torturing on the flesh of Haya's worshippers and on infidels against thy doctrine. So that's the convert or die, right? That's your dumb Diversas, right? So he's saying that this God is directly responsible for this papal bull dumb Diversas. We weighing all and singular premises with due meditation. So they meditated on this shit, and noting that since we were formerly by other letters of ours granted among other things free and ample faculty to the aforesaid King Alfonso to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, and subdue all Saracens and pagans, Negroes whatsoever, and other enemies of Christ, Christus, Buddha, Luamong. If Luamong got the power, then he's the one sending them now against Thoth. And Thoth is the one that had been hijacking us, and a lot of us were hijacked in Thoth shit even before the so-called white man came. A lot of us were hijacked in Thoth shit. We might have still been living in a version of a paradise to them, but it wasn't the order that we were created for. We were not putting the Creator first. Order doesn't destroy order. So these guys are playing, and we're giving them energy to play with. And we still are doing this today under this Christ, enemies of Christ, wheresoever place, and the kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, dominions, possessions, and all movable and immovable goods, movable and immovable goods, whatsoever held and possessed by them, to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery, and to apply all appropriate to himself and his successors the kingdoms, dukedoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, and to convert them to his or their use and profit. What? This is happening to you against you, Negro. Here, copper color race. By having secured the said faculty, the said King Alfonso, or by his authority, the aforesaid Infante, justly and lawfully has acquired and possessed. In their opinions, this is just and lawful. Not the Creator's law, but Louis Mang's law, right? Has acquired and possessed and doth possesses these islands, lands, harbors, and seas. And they do of right belong and pertain to the said King Alfonso and his successors. In 1493, Alexander VI issued a bull inter caetera, stating, one Christian nation did not have the right to establish dominion over lands previously dominated by other Christian nations. So that became established a law of nations. If they're both Christians, then that's protecting them. So you see how these Coptics and certain Christian nations were protected even in that way. All right. So together the Diversas and Roman Pontifex and inter caetera came to serve as the basis and justification for the doctrine of discovery, the global slave trade of the 15th century and 16th century, and age of imperialism. These were the documents that enslaved you, Negro. So what are we talking about? What is the Creator saying, in this particular document that we have to dig in and dig it up? He said, you have pretended to be the highest, and yet you were unable to take the small earthly kingdom. Thou didst also inflict dire punishment and torturing of the flesh of Hea, the Creator's worshippers. We just read that they gonna do that. Invade, search out, destroy. Invade, search out, destroy. Invade, search out, capture, vanquish, subdue. This is their drop on you, subduing you, torture of the flesh of Hea's worshippers and on infidels, against thy doctrines. What doctrine? Christian. God of war, Zeus, with red-hot pincers pulled the flesh from the bones. This is what they did with red-hot pincers. They pulled the flesh from your bones, or in boiling oil slowly dripped them, or from precipices hurled them, just hurled you to death. Or in boxes lined with prickling spikes of iron, they bound them. What? This is the Creator telling this angel, you inflicted these people, my people, torturing the flesh of my worshipers. You put them in boxes with prickling spikes of iron, thus to blot all knowledge and learning and opposition. Millions and millions hast thou thus cast in death in thy earthly regions. Oh, we're going to call out names. In España, Spain. Are y'all reading this? In Spain, Italy, thou hast put to death more than 7 million mortals. Nevertheless, these angels will come home to thee in aftertime with vengeance in their souls. Behold, thy false promises to Thoth are already visited upon thy kingdoms. But as for Thoth, who became thy willing tool to do destruction for thy glory and merit hath he. How shall I judge thee, O Thoth? Okay. All right, Thoth. You've been a thorn in our side the whole time. You keep popping up. You won't leave us alone, Thoth. You've been hijacking us the whole time. They're calling you Muhammad, Thoth. Because thou hast a heavenly kingdom and Withel art master on earth, of Jerusalem and Tethys and Egypt and Punjab. Thou flatterest thyself, thou art a great God. But thy heavenly kingdom hath become a place for lusters and foul-smelling spirits in the lowest of grades. Egypt, they want to glorify it, but it became a kingdom of lust and foul-smelling spirits in the lowest grades. Every kingdom Thoth set up here in America and Atlantis became a place for lusters and foul-smelling spirits in the lowest grades. And thy heaven is surely and steadily declining in grade. Now, as to these Kabbalactes, though thou hast destroyed 1,000 mortal libraries and put to death 60 millions of people. Wow. In order to establish thyself as Buddha. Still thou hast steadily declined in grade, and thy kingdoms with thee. Thou hast fashioned many sacred cities and framed many tales as to who thou wert in mortal life. Alright? Thou hast falsely called thyself Buddha, and doubly false hast thou taken the name Sakaya Muni. Thou hast tortured to death millions of mortals who rejected thee. And when my heavenly ships rescued their distracted and chaotic spirits, thou didst wantonly connive with thy druses to despoil my ships and cast these helpless spirits into darkness. Thou hast done these things for past times and diversities for thy falling heavens. And even so hath it been with thee, Enokisa. Now, I don't know if that's Enoch. Enokisa could be something completely different, but we got to research this. Enokisa. Never had a Lord a fairer opportunity in all the earth's heavens to do a good and great work. But what fell into thy hands? But behold, how thou hast harvested thy heavens. 1,000 years ago, thy grades were from 40 to 65. So they go in these grades, you know, there's a system to it. There's order all over the place. You can't run from it. The truth has you surrounded. You got to know whose consciousness you're actually in to be conscious. You have to pay deference. You have to understand the order of the consciousness of the wave. When you surf it and be water, it's when you are order that you be water. As water is order. 1,000 years ago, thy grades were from 40 to 65. In this day, they average but 10. It needeth no prophet to foretell that thy declension will lead to destruction in the end. Now lastly, O ye false gods, ye deceivers and hypocrites, ye have divided the earth and the heavens thereof between yourselves, and reconfederated together for a balance of power, yet have also persuaded mortal kingdoms to divide the earth into sections and regions, and to clamor for a balance of power between different kingdoms, yea, have thus caused mortals to provide standing armies to protect themselves, kingdoms against kingdoms, after the manner ye protect your own kingdom in the heavens. Verse 35. Alright, so ye have thus caused mortals to provide standing armies to protect themselves, kingdom against kingdom, after the manner ye protect your own kingdoms in the heavens. Christians against Christians, Brahmins against Brahmins, Buddhists against Buddhists, Mohammedans against Mohammedans. Yet all of these four have ye arrayed against one another, in very likeness of your heavens have ye built on the earth. Ye have inspired mortals to keep as standing armies 40 million soldiers. Ye have inspired mortals to build military schools and colleges where the young may be trained in the art of war and destruction. Ye have inspired mortals to build monuments to their generals and captains because of their courage to destroy. Are we talking about this kingdom or what? Ye have inspired the wickedest of mortals to believe that if they would read your sacred books and call on your names, ye would surely save them, and after death take them to the highest of heavens. And yet when they die, your hosts are not there to receive them. And when they call out for you, your emissaries kick them and beat them, and they return with vengeance to afflict mortals. Chapter 55. God continueth his chastisement against the 4 false gods. God said, in the name of Hey, wherein shall I find an excuse for your behavior? When my angels taught man how to make a captain or capstan, and a screw and a telescope and a compass, behold, your emissaries inspired my chosen to be tortured or put to death. When my angels inspired man to comprehend and announce the glory of the stars and planets, ye put my chosen to death. Through your vindictive angels against Heya were these things accomplished, when my angels taught men by inspiration that the earth. Okay. Look at this hijack. Look how they try to slide it in right quick. When my angels taught man by inspiration that the earth was round instead of flat. Alright. So this is a real clear marker. Alright. That we can't get too cozy. We got to look out, keep our eyes, stay on your toes, people. Stay on your toes. Alright, so good. That wakes us up a little bit. We were getting real cozy. So they woke us ass up. Woke our asses up. Say, hey, nigga, hijack. When my angels taught man by inspiration that the earth was round instead of flat, ye sent spirits of darkness to inspire the death of my philosophers. Because forsooth, my inspiration agreed not with the sacred books, which ye compounded for your own glory. Yea, ye palmed off your compilations from other false gods as being Jehovah's, Hayas, and yet played upon the honest innocence of man's understanding, contrary to the will of the Almighty. So, obviously, as we take this, we have to look a little bit deeper. We have to look a little bit deeper. And when the hijack tries to play with us like this, we ask some real basic questions. Ye sent spirits of darkness to inspire the death of my philosophers. Alright. So which philosophers were teaching us that the earth was round? That were put to death for teaching that the earth was round. Was Copernicus put to death for teaching the earth was round? Do you have a list of folks that was Galileo put to death because he said that the earth is round? Who's persecuted? Who do you know in recent anything that's been persecuted for saying the earth is round? But as soon as somebody says, you know what, I don't think this makes any sense, I don't feel anything, then they're attacked. They're called crazy. They're going against science. All right. So when my angels taught man by inspiration that the earth was round, well, who else teaches us that? NASA, science. So now we're saying that these angels are supporting science, right? The science that we are told to rely on today that can't ask a simple question, that can't put a live feed of the earth rotating, that can't give us an actual full normal picture of the earth without making it composites and all kinds of different composites from different things and satellite. When we haven't returned to the moon in 30, 40 years, you know what I'm saying? Then, we should ask no questions about that, because the angels have taught us that the earth is round. And now their philosophers were inspired to death. Well, that's a new history. Because forsooth my inspiration agreed not with the sacred books which ye compiled for your own glory. Alright, so you deal with that. Ye have holden your sacred books up and said, here is the ultimate, beyond this no man shall go. And ye knew the while that any fixed revelation could not be true, because all the universe is in constant progress. We can keep going, but I just want you to let it soak all in. Ye have holden up your own sacred books and said, here are the rules and sure guide to reach the highest heavens, knowing the while that your heavens were the lowest of the bound heavens of earth. Now behold, the same rules apply unto you as to the least of Hea's children, which are that whoso sitteth upon a mark with himself as the highest, and he, the interpreter thereof, is already on the downward grade. And whoso seeketh to glorify himself by his kingdoms, or by the magnificence of his possessions, taketh a burden upon his shoulders that will soon or late fall upon him and crush him. So we're going to get the babies out. When we get into, certain of these breakdowns, we're going to get the babies out so that we can research it ourselves. So we can research everything that's coming up. And right when they try to because clearly if they're going to use, keep using Jehovah, we know that these particular translators, that they're definitely not, of course, if it can be in the Hebrew lexicon, and you don't see Jehovah, and everywhere when you see your H1961 and it's referring to I am and to be, and, understanding a primitive root, meaning to breathe, to be in a sense of existence, but they're still using Jehovah. Yehovah from 1961. So when they finally started using this Jehovah as 3068, hope everybody can read that clearly. Yehovah, it was from 1961, which is Heya, Hoya. You see? So when you get to the root of it all, the self-existence or eternal, right? The self-existence or eternal Jehovah, Jewish national name of God, Jehovah, the Lord. The Lord. And you have to say, are we talking about the same thing? The Jewish national name of God. Is this the same vibration as Heya? It says it comes from the root word of Heya. But what are we actually talking about? My take on this particular Oahspe is that there's a lot of babies in it. And it appears to be almost like an inside track on how the celestial orders are interpreting things. They seem to be taking a lot of, our drop, and then yet giving us still a doctrine on it. You know what I'm saying? And that is absolutely proven right here when we get into this, whole earth thing, wherever it is. Yeah, the earth is round. And that my angels taught man inspiration that the earth was round. When we read in the Papal how they saw the earth as a house with foundations. Whether it's the Vedas and all these other things, that's been confirmed in all the other cosmologies, foundations, firm, fixed, and movable. But now they want you to look at it the other way and say, oh, well, you got your own doctrines that taught the earth was flat or something like that. But then it's like, well, then who's controlling things today? If it was being controlled today by this Jehovah, then his doctrine is clearly being preached that the earth is round. His angels taught man that the earth is round. But if it's being run by the opposite energy, then they're teaching you the opposite. So because we're being taught that the earth is round and indoctrinated that the earth is round, and we have a globe in our classrooms, when no one has ever confirmed any spin of the earth or curvature of anything. The curve cannot be proven, the motion cannot be proven, gravity cannot be proven. And when gravity is a theory, not a law, you don't have a spinning ball. But when we're dealing with constant progress and everything being in constant motion, there's a difference between constant motion and spinning at 1,100 miles per hour from east to west, or whatever that is, west to east. And saying from NASA saying that you're going at 67,000 miles per hour, chasing the sun that's going 540,000 miles per hour, in a Milky Way galaxy going 2.5 million miles per hour. These are their numbers. Is that constant progress? They want you to believe that you came from a big bang. So, again, that's why I enjoy when they just put the hijack straight in your face, man. Because it wakes you up like, all right, cool. So, I'm not tripping. Like, we just got to get the babies out, and do the research. So I take the time because that's important. I never put anything up. We never put anything up for you just to take it and run with. So that's why I'm going through it with you. Obviously I'm reading it with you. And, we got a lot more digging to do. So now behold, the same rules apply unto you as the least of His children, which are that whoso setteth up a mark with himself as the highest, and he, the interpreter thereof, is already on the downward grade. And whosoever seeketh to glorify himself by his kingdoms or by the magnificence of his possessions taketh a burden upon his shoulders that will soon or late fall upon him and crush him. And whoso fortifieth himself by armies, whether in the heavens or on the earth, bindeth himself therewith for his ultimate sorrow. And whoso turneth away from Jehovah, and say, I will go not after him, nor search to find him more, but I will build unto myself, planeth an edifice that will tumble down upon him in time to come. Let's keep going. In the name of the Almighty, my brothers, look at the glory ye boast of. Ye say, behold, we have scattered. His faiths. Remember, the faith is the ones that believe in the Creator. Into all the places of the earth. They are without a kingdom. They have not left one community to themselves on the whole earth. They don't have one community left to themselves on the whole earth. Now, does that tell you who you are or what? What other people as a people don't have one community to themselves on the whole earth. See, these are the babies. You know, we can do the research and everything else, and we can say this and that, but you just need to know you exist. And you need to know that even in their hijacks, even in their scattered pages that we, come up with, we're able to find these babies and say, all we're doing is validating that the Creator exists and we exist. And therefore, we're not crazy when we step out into reality. We're not crazy when we step out and we say, this is our passion. This is who we are. This is what we're going to be about. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're doing. This ain't play. Now they have scattered all of us, all these faiths, they say, into all the places of the earth. Scattered. Who else has been scattered to the four corners of the earth? They are without a kingdom. They have not left one community to themselves. Not one is left to themselves on the whole earth. Sure, we're just trying to build Drop Nation, man. And to get to the hijacks of just doing that. Goodness gracious, man. Goodness gracious. But we gonna do it, man. All it takes is a few. We gonna do it. We will have ours. We will have a growth. We will have a step. We will just have a step, man. Think ye, hath appropriated them. Behold, it is true. Ye have despoiled them and scattered them abroad. Ye have hunted them down in China. All right. This is what we got to research to get the drop. We have hunted them down in China. Venue. All right, we're in India. Venue, Arabia. Parse. Hellas. And Europa. Research all these names. Ye have denied them the right to own lands, the right to follow their choice of avocations. Ye have denied them justice and even a hearing in courts of trial. Is this shit for reals? Who else are they describing as a people? That's publicized, documented. And your accusations against them was they worship not gods born of woman. That they don't worship gods born of woman. They flipped it, right? So now you got to be a god born of a woman to be worshipped. But behold, the wisdom of Heya, because ye thus dispossessed his people, and they were scattered abroad, they have sown the doctrine of the All One all over the earth and in the heavens thereof. They have been as a leaven to work in the foundations of mighty kingdoms and empires. They have given learning education unto all peoples to show the magnificence of Heya's universe. Behold, inhabitants of the earth, now look upward and ask, may there not be other worlds? How long hath been the earth standing? Could the creator of thousands of millions of worlds of years, could the creator of thousands of millions of worlds which have stood for thousands of millions of years be so young as any one of these pretended gods? Worlds beyond the poles. We just gotta flip it. You know what I'm saying? We understand when they're talking about heavens, they're not talking about a ball spinning with all kind of just worlds and heavens outside. They're saying that this is what they're hiding. They didn't give you all the drop in this document. I'm sorry. They still got to make you think that it ain't what it is. They still have to disorient you while they give you drop. So let's get the babies out. Don't mind the disorientation because we've done the recon and we're doing it. So we know there's levels and rules. Levels and rules to the game. There's higher heavens, and there's a firmament with higher heavens to the throne of the Creator, and they can't get there. You know, they would rather you just think there's just, oh, there's millions of just planets and worlds and outer space. But when you simplify it and you know that there's a firmament, and yeah, there's however many worlds beyond as many poles as this goes, as the Creator creates, the Creator will always create. Thought creates. You've created. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're not, you know, simplifying it to the point of it not being as vast and amazing as it is. But don't ever think that you're not as special as you truly are when they try to make it millions of worlds, as if this happening here isn't the apple of the Creator's eye. This energy and this shift and what's happening here, they've all come for this, man. This is a special time in a special place. And you just have to know that. No one can convince you. You just have to hear it. You just have to know when you're being hijacked. And descend to the earth. So, be so young an age, and any one of these pretended gods, and descend to the earth and do a work so imperfectly that only one small kingdom heard of him. Alright, let's keep going. Chapter 57. God prophesieth of the 4 false gods, Luiman, Inakisa, Kabalates, and Gabriel. And we heard of this Gabriel throughout, you know, pretty much the typical, you know what I'm saying, archangel, you know, situation. So I don't know if we're talking the same Gabriel. I don't know what they're talking about, this Gabriel, but let's do the recon and see what it's saying. God said, in the name of the All-Highest, greetings, my brother. When ye first established your holy confederacy, behold, ye professed to be in service of Aya, and that your confederation was to raise up sons and daughters from the Etherian heavens. But even before ye had completed your organization, ye modified the name, what they're saying Jehovah, signifying the all-person, to the name Holy Ghost. So the Creator's name, as we know Aya, they're saying, was modified to Holy Ghost, signifying no person but a principle only. And, you know, you go to this etymology, you just put in Holy Ghost and you say, okay, well, what is the etymology, the breakdown? When did this pop up? When did this Holy Ghost situation happen? And you have this holy. Old English, halig, holy, consecrated, sacred, godly, ecclesiastical. Let's keep going. Holy, German, whole, uninjured. Let's keep going. Holy has been used as an intensifying word from 1837. In explicatives, alright, so we have 1837, primary, pre-Christian meaning is not possible to determine, but probably it was that must be preserved whole or intact, that cannot be transgressed or violated, holy water, or English. So we have this 1837 ramp up of this holy stuff. Alright, now you have ghost, Holy Ghost. So alright, so here we just have something to preserve whole or intact, cannot be transgressed or violated, consecrated or sacred. So just say sacred, or, you know, celestial, whatever you want to say. Ghost, breath, good or bad spirit, angel, demon, person, man, human being. Human being, demon, that is sacred. You see how they hijack the Creator. So, you know, you modify the name, the Creator's name, right? Signifying the all-person to the name Holy Ghost. Demon, man, spirit, signifying no person, but a principle only. Thus, as the very outset, ye prepared your kingdoms without distinctive purpose and resurrection guided toward unity. For to declare all things are not parts and principles comprising one universal all is to found a base for discord, as the players which, when each one turneth away from the tune, playeth a strain on high own account, whereas what ye declared of Ea will also be declared of you, as ye denied his person, substituting that which was void and an incomprehensible state. As an incomprehensible state, so shall the same judgment come upon you all. As you put away the Most High, so will mortals put you away. As you declare the Creator to be a principle, a non-entity without sense or unity or purpose, so shall mortals declare you all. This is for everybody saying, oh, it's just the universe, the universal law, it's the natural law. It's just everything else that is a non-entity without a sense of unity and purpose. It's just, just be and ebb and flow and yin and yang and yin and yang. Yeah, balance is balance, man, but you have a creator, a consciousness that is dedicated specifically to your growth, to your redemption, that loves you just as hard as it is to believe, more than you love your own children. But we've all been broken so much that we just can't trust that type of love. We can't even trust each other. But we will learn. They will say, behold, Brahma is not a person but a principle. Buddha is not a person but a principle. Christ is not a person but a principle. God Gabriel is not a person but a principle. Because ye labor to pull down Hea's name, behold, the names which you falsely assume will be pulled down and cast out also, both on earth and in heaven, because you have sought that. Something here is all blocked out, but from the earth your kingdoms are something lower and lower, because ye sought to continue the talents of mortals to your sacred books. Your sacred books have become worthless before Ea. Mortals as well as angels will repudiate you. Mortals as well as angels will repudiate you in your books. Only drugs and drudges will be your followers. So now you have these systems which is knuckleheads as followers, man. Low spirits, low energies, low vibrations. People that just aren't thinking, aren't researching at all. And here comes Thoth again. And thou, Thoth, shall be the first to be cast down. So we saying Thoth, your man Atlantean Thoth, Hermes, Thutmoses. O Thoth shall be the first to be cast down, and thy heavenly kingdoms with thee. And thou Inakisa shall be next, and thou heavenly kingdoms with thee. And thou Calabactes shall be third, and thy heavenly kingdoms with thee. And at last thou Lunman shall go down, and thy heavenly kingdoms with thee. Nevertheless thou shalt conquer all the earth, and trail it around with mortal blood. And after that thou shalt be hated above all other false gods that have ever been. Let's get a couple more. It's going to be great just to kind of poke our heads in this, man, and get some babies out, man, and see how that relates. As this Thoth, this Vindia, this Vindu, this Vishnu. God said, in the name of Ea, greetings unto you. Hear the plea of God. Ea, son. Okay. Now we're going to hear about this, who they're calling God, who they're calling Jehovah's Son. Now, they already went against the whole Christ thing. So we're not talking about this Jesus Christ, Son of God thing. Everyone's claim, even Osiris claimed to be Son of God. So now we're talking about someone that this particular document is calling the Son of the Creator. Is he the same as your Christ? I don't know. I didn't write this thing. But we're definitely interested and we're asking questions. And we're being fearless because we know our foundation. We know our Creator exists, and that's all the foundation we need to believe in each other. Hear the plea of God, Jehovah's Son, it says. Like one that is whipped and beaten in a great contest, I cry out because of the Almighty whom I serve. What is the fault of Ea that ye have turned away from him? So, whoever this is in this document is pleading on behalf of his father, who they're calling his son. So let's keep rocking. What is the fault? Is this like them telling us the world is round? Are they interjecting? Are they hijacking us again? So I'm glad they hijacked us before, so we know that they will do it again. But it's all right, let's keep saying what's popping. What is the fault of Ea that ye have turned away from him? Behold, I will plead for him. Was not his name good enough? The name is greater than the word creator. What name is greater than the word creator? If ye rejoice that he lived, then are ye not beholden to him? What have ye substantiated? Why have ye substantiated other names? Who was to be the gainer thereby? Certainly not Ea. What excuse can ye assign that ye have made other names for Ea's worship on earth and in heavens? Mortals will ask these questions in times to come. Did not the Almighty, before your times, find a way to reveal himself in his commandments? You see, as long as we bring it into the commandments, I don't care what they say the shape of the world is. That's the foundation. Then we know, all right. Are you trying to hijack the order? Or do we just got to dodge the hijacks to make sure we have our order and our orientation? They're going to give us all kind of characters, but they're bringing up a lot of these energies that are being worshipped today. So that's the interesting dance that we're doing. Why have ye persecuted, abused, and put to death mortals for worshiping Ea? Behold, all ye four profess to be the Prince of Peace. But ye carry concealed daggers, and ye strike to death those who glorify the Creator. I run after my children as a father would to snatch them away from a serpent, but ye slaughter them before my eyes. I weep for them. In shame I look upon the earth and the heavens thereof, and I say unto myself, O thou God, to whom these were given. O thou God, to whom these were given to whom these were given in charge, how incompetent thou art against the flood of evil. And I pray unto Ea that your hearts may be turned to pity. I see before you all certain ruin and terrible hells. And I cry out to Ea to give me the means to save you. I pray that I may be even unmolested in rescuing and saving the helpless and distressed, but ye frustrate all of my inventions. I am weary with my labor and with the great kingdoms given into my keeping. Alas, I am shut off on all sides from doing good, and yet That is all I desire to do. So, he's saying that, man, I don't have, for this time, I gotta let y'all rock. I've been shut off. The Most High ain't let me get down the way I want to get down to help y'all. But, I'm rooting for y'all. I'm weeping for y'all. And you are frustrating my inventions. Now I beseech you, O ye false gods, make ye concessions unto Heya. Save yourself from certain destruction, and Heya's son from humiliation, before the high-raised gods of other worlds. So save yourself from certain destruction, and Heya's son from humiliation, before the high-raised gods of other worlds. Yeah, that's interesting, Y'all tell me what that means, because it's like a loaded thing, But I'll just say it again, just one more time. Maybe some more clarity will come out of it. Save yourself from certain destruction. So I got that part. They're on a road of destruction. And it says, and Jehovah's son, or Heya's son, from humiliation. So save, is he saying save him from being humiliated before the high-raised gods of other worlds? That's interesting. I don't know a lot about this character here, so we're trying to get to the bottom of it. Let's keep going. The four false gods replied to God, Jehovah's son. So now they have a reply. They say, in the name of the Son, the Father, and the Holy Ghost, greeting unto thee, God, Jehovah's son. This is interesting. It's a conversation I never heard of before. You got Thoth, you got all these angels, and they're having a conversation with someone who's saying that he's the son of the Creator. But he's not Christ. See? In confederation assembled, we reply unto thee with patience and mercy. We set not up our kingdoms for self-glorification, but righteousness and good works. Behold, the firmament was overcast with fog. Now, how do you have a firmament and then still say that you have a round ball? Is everything outside the ball the firmament? Did the Most High not say he stretched? Shamayim stretched out the stars, stretched it out like a tent, stretched out the firmament, the sky like a tent for you to dwell in. A tent for you to dwell in. A tent for you to... All right. Behold, the firmament was overcast with falling. And our former lordoms were broken up and gone, and we chose our several places in uninhabited heavenly regions. Therefore, we took nothing from thee. So we always think this thing through to have some type of, shuffle ball change. So they're saying, look, man, we took uninhabited regions. What we didn't take nothing from you. He said, we admit the goodness of thy heart and the honesty of thy purpose, but we do not acknowledge thy wisdom, a sufficient guide into heavens like our own. The wise and exalted may rise in wisdom, purity, and power by the policy of love and non-resistance, and by the example of good works. But we're such inhabitants either on earth or in the heavens thereof, comprise but a small percent of the population. They become the victims of the lawless. And this is the reason thy followers both on earth and in heaven are persecuted and abused. So he's put it on you, Negro. But we're such inhabitants either on earth or in heavens thereof, comprise but a small percent of the populations, they become victims of lawlessness because it's so, just not enough of us, man, that, are rocking with the Creator is what they're saying. So we're victims because of our numbers, our percents. And this is the reason thy followers, both on earth and heaven, are persecuted and abused. We admit the declension or declining of our grades. And thou hast said, but behold, thy emissaries carry off our highest grades. If thou would carry away our drushes only, we would not interdict the travel of thy ships and our heavenly dominions. But as soon as thy ships come, behold, our highest grades rush for them. For which reasons we have been obliged to prohibit thy laborers within our midst, touching our slaves, or whom we have more than 18,000 millions. So they have more than 18,000 million slaves. 18,000 million slaves. Without slavery, they would do nothing in heaven, and for the most part would inhabit mortals as vampires, familiars, demons, and grafters, reincarnators, and familiars. So, they're saying that they're celestial slaves, without them putting in the work, they would just haunt mortals. Only by holding them as our slaves can we restrain them from these vices. Forget not that ere our heavenly kingdoms were established, the earth was covered over in many places with oracles and temples used to consult the spirits, and these spirits were in darkness, holding mortals down in darkness. We broke them all up and thus cleared the earth from innumerable self-gods and self-lords. So there we go. They did a good thing, just like the Christians say. Columbus, yeah, man, we broke the partition down and we gave you an excellent new tune. We took away your ancient love song and gave you an excellent new tune. We did something good by giving you this Zeus, this god of war, this Christ. We did something good with these savages. Until you realize what they really found over here. They did not find savages. Touching the matter of the name Holy Ghost, have we not freedom as well, thou, to choose a name to please ourselves? Thou hast prophesied our downfall, and yet pleads for us to prevent it. If we are to be overthrown, how then could we avert it? Then thy prophecy would not realize truth. So we got to go all in. Nevertheless, we propose unto thee, if thou wilt renounce the person of the Creator. So he's telling this God character, right? This son of the Creator that they're saying in this document, that he needs to renounce the Creator. If thou wilt renounce the person of the Creator and style it the Holy Ghost, we are prepared to treat with thee. We'll work with you, man. Just renounce the Creator. Denounce the Creator. Renounce the person. Otherwise, no more. So the Lord said, now who's this Lord? Who's this Lord? This is our last chapter, y'all. Let's make our dismount. In the same hour when God in paradise received the epistle from the four false gods. So the Lord said in the same hour when God in paradise, we're talking about who they're calling Jehovah's son, or His son, right? Received the epistle from the four false gods, a light appeared in the firmament above. Okay, wait. A firmament above. Now, where's above on a ball? I'll wait. And if you're in a ball and you're just in a vacuum of space, where's above? Is it just not, I guess, case by case? If you're on a plane, remember our etymology of planet? You see, this is when you get them. Because they can't tell you that, oh yeah, you know, my angels came and said, I taught you were on a ball on a planet. And you understand the etymology of planet is wandering stars. To make devious, repel, dissuade from the right path, bewilder, flat, to spread, all notion of spread out. So even planet means flat, but they still trying to make you feel like they're giving you the drop. And how his philosophers were killed for telling you the earth is round. You know what I'm saying? So that's his clear-eyed jack. Planet. So the Lord, in the same hour when God in paradise received the epistle, a light appeared in the firmament above. Above's the same for everybody on a plane. Descending from the Etherian heavens. It was a starship from the Nirvanian heavens of Chia Hakad, only 400 years from the dawn of the arc of Cosmin, of the era of Cosmin, like a crescent made of stars with a sun betwixt the horns. It came a very world of light, swifting coming toward paradise. Down came the ship of fire. Okay, we got a ship. We got a ship, y'all. Is it play? Look it up. We got a ship. Alright, so down came the ship of fire far below the moon's orbit, and then halted. For 2 whole days it halted, as if to warn the false gods, the pretended saviors of angels. Alright, so we got a ship warning false gods, saviors of angels and mortals that had spoken in the high heavens. Then came again the starship till it anchored near the throne of God. The lights and the Etherian waves of higher worlds were open, and there came out of the midst of the arches of ships 1,000,000 angels well trained in the management of worlds, and they were headed by Hea or Hiapanetisa, goddess of Viagonitage in the plains of Meaga. Alright. You tell me. Meaga. And God of paradise raised the lights of his heavens and opened his place and throne to the approaching goddess and her host. God's holy council made way, and Hiaponetisa and her host entered the place of God. God said, "Hail, daughter of Jehovah." All right, in his name, because welcome to my throne. And God saluted on the sign, the circle, and triangle. So God saluted on the sign, the circle, and triangle. You let me know what this is. There's a lot of things I don't know. A lot of things you do. So give me the drop on this circle and triangle. Now we heard about the circle and the cross. What's the circle and the triangle? Hypoponetisa answered in the sign, chain of the circuit, saying, "All honor and praise to thee, O God, Jehovah's Son." Then she went up and sat on the throne of God, and her host filled in front in a crescent, maintaining the chain of Etherian light to the ships and thence to the worlds above. The Essenors chanted an anthem to Hea, and after that the goddess rose up on the throne of God and said, "Praise be to thee, Hea. Mine eyes have beholded a son of thy love. The glory of the red star and her heavens thou hast uncovered before me. The toils and trials of thy God thou hast opened as a book is opened, and the dark ages of hundreds of years thou hast made transparent by the light of thy countenance. Thou hast approached those that labored for their own glory, to sweep from off the earth and her heavens, oracle worship and idolatry. And these curses shall return not ever again. The prayer of thy God reached up to the heavens. Chia, Hakah, the gods of other worlds hearken unto his voice. And thy voice, Jehovah, Heya, came upon me, saying, Daughter of Viagon Nataj, haste thou quickly to the red star. My God is calling. And thou gavest into my hands, and thou gavest into my hands 1,000,000 of thy holy sons and daughters with a great ship of fire. And I sped through thy Etherian seas and wide roadways, glorying in the work thou gavest me. Now, behold, I am honored before thee and before thy God and his council. My love is to them like as sisters who had found a long-lost brother. The glory of thy handiwork thou hast manifested in them. Therefore, the goddess gave the sign love to all, and she sat down. Then God rose up and said, Because thou hast blessed my people, O Heya, I am abashed before thy goddess, who hath come so far to see me. Behold, in the last hour of my trials thou sent unto me, in the time I was heartbroken, thou thrust into my kingdom the chain of thy Etherian light. How can I be unmindful of thee, Heya? How can I doubt the triumph of the Almighty? Thou hast dwellers in thy Orion realms, whose presence are as a power to overturn a world. And thou hast found one that rusheth forth at thy command to show me the way of succor. Thereupon God gave the sign a grateful heart, and he also sat down. Again the Essenors chanted, and presently a ray of light passed over the head of Hyaponetisa, the goddess, and it formed above the throne like a brilliant star. And the voice came out of the star, saying, My son, God of the red star and her heavens, all honor and glory be unto thee. The measure of thy labor is known to my sons and daughters in the higher worlds. From this time forth concern not thyself more about the 4 false gods. Sufficient unto them is the work they have undertaken. Behold, they have appropriated 4 great divisions of the earth unto themselves, and the heavens thereof have become their dominions. Suffer them therefore to keep what they have taken, because they have bound mortals by their religions, and established themselves by mortal laws, and by force of their standing armies. Thou shalt give unto them even all they have bound on earth and in the heavens. But behold, I have another continent, laying beyond the ocean, Gautama, where my people know me and worship me. Okay. Now, before we jump to conclusions, we're talking about another continent beyond the ocean. We researched earlier how Gautama in the, we go back in the glossary, it says it's the celestial counterpart of America, or the celestial sign of America, whatever that is, so we're talking about America. Beyond the ocean, Gautama, which is probably Atlantic, where my people know me and worship me. Let's keep going. Thither thou shalt inspire mortals to go from the east and find Gautama and inhabit it. And thither, so people were already there, right? So we're talking about the council of the Creator, his son and daughter, God and goddesses, God and goddess, you know what I'm saying? This is what this is supposed to be representing, right? So, let's see what he's saying from this perspective. And there shall come to pass, none of the false gods shall establish there doctrines by mortal laws and bind my people. As for the spirits of such mortals as the false gods cause to be slain in inquisitions, leave them to those gods that took them. So that's for the spirits of the mortals as the false gods cause to be slain in the inquisitions. So for those that were being slain in these inquisitions, it says leave them to those gods that took them. So they're thinking that the Creator, is taking all these spirits, and the spirits belong to those that, it's being divvied out. The Creator's taking his children and those that are hijacked free and choosing up. But the other ones that are worshiping other things, he's not even dealing with. And through such spirits have vengeance in their hearts and will be the means of ultimately casting the false gods into hell. Yet, so these spirits that you got to leave them here are ultimately going to raise up against these false gods here into hell. Yet thou shalt not go near them, but thou shalt look to the mortals whom shall take over to inhabit the western continent. Who is Preston? You see what I'm saying? I'm reading this with you for the first time. And this is over 1,019 pages, and we're getting to this continent with these mortals. He said, but behold, I have another continent laying beyond the ocean, Guatemala, Atlantic, where my people know me and worship me. We read the Papal, we understand the frame and shape of the Great Spirit. Okay. But thou shalt look to the mortals whom thou shalt take over to inhabit the western continent. Whom thou shalt take over to inhabit the western continent. So these mortals are going to start inhabiting this place. Although there are already people here, my people know me and worship me there. Alright. But more mortals will come. And thou shalt look to the mortals whom thou shalt take over to inhabit the western continent, and thou shalt send Louis thither. Now remember, these Louis is a certain grade of angels, right? And raise up by birth certain mortals who shall ignore the doctrine of enforced worship for any God or Lord or Savior. Is that what's happening? My fellow family, when you see mortals being certain mortals who shall ignore the doctrine of enforced worship, all false doctrine. So this has been going on. This is what's going on at a rapid pace now. People are just hijacked free. So these people that ignore these doctrines are hijacked free. And thou shalt send these Louis, these angels, thither to the western continent to raise up by birth certain mortals. I told you we gonna find the babies in this bathwater. For the people of that land shall be free, not only in body, but in spirit also, in the western continent, beyond the ocean in Guatemala. My people know me and worship me. Let's go. Let's make our dismount. A couple more minutes. For the people of that land shall be free, not only in body, but in spirit also, and it shall be guaranteed unto them to worship in my way, that their conscience may dictate. Guaranteed here in the western continent. And when the dawn of the ark of Cosmin cometh, behold, I will open up my heavens unto mortals and prepare the foundation of my kingdom on earth. Where Where's that going to be? The Western continent. At the end time, I will open up my heavens unto mortals and prepare the foundation of my kingdom on earth. The voice ceased, and now God declared a day of resurrection, and Etherians and Atmospherians might mingle together and rejoice before Ea. And this was done also. Why are they rejoicing? Because of the preparation of the kingdom on earth. Where? In the Western continent. Where are you? Where did it begin? And this was done also. And on the next day, Hayapanatisa departed, leaving the requisite Etherian labors with God. End of the book of Eskra. So, we just got the tail end of that particular book. This is another incredible dig, the book of Eskra, daughter of Jehovah. And then you get into that. And again, man, just so that we can remember our glossary. When we looked up Guatemala, the cosmological name of America, literally the last spirit foundation, the last revelation, sometimes spelled Gautama, Guatama. Alright, you have the Buddhist world, Gautama Buddha. Gautama. So you see how this, Buddha jumps out, but that's just a little hijack. All you gotta do is put America next to it. North America, Gautama. Gautama Buddha, North America. Images. Alright. So you see this is the little Buddha, situation. And that's what we gotta understand here. When we're gonna get into a book called the Hindu America. And all this has roots here. But clearly, we're just talking Guatemala. We're just talking Mexico. We're just talking Maya. Alright, we're just talking Atlantis. We're just talking here, man. Alright, so, but very interesting. Now we can look into the Buddhist situation. Alright, all this Thoth business, this Christ business, this hijack is here. Guatemala, the cosmological name of America. That's what we're getting out of this. And of course, you see right there, Ham, the cosmological name of Egypt. Alright. And before I get too busy on it, I wanted to look at one more. Let's go right quick. So I definitely want to get on this chapter here, boy. And you'll see why. I mean, you probably already see why. I mean, you see some cool drawings, man. You know we're gonna get there. The book of what's it called? Safa, the Book of Safa. And you already see it's getting busy, man. I mean, I'm just gonna belly flop, you know, man. From Cosman, the present time, back to Moses and Capelia, Elias Capella, 3,400 years from Moses to Capelia, to Brahma and Abraham, 2,200 years from Brahma and Abraham to Zarathustra. Remember, that's another Christ-like, you know what I'm saying, story that predates everything that's coming after it, right? So, is there a foundational legend here in the Zarathustra or Zoroaster? 3,100 years from Zarathustra to Osiris the first. 3,300 years from Osiris to Thor. 3,200 years from Thor to Apollo. 2,800 years from Apollo to Su. 3,200 years from Su to Af, and 3,600 years. Dania, the orbiter, man. Alright, so we're getting into some, cosmology. We're going to see if they're going to go back into some, Copernican trickery. Or are they going to really, stay with the drop, give us some drop. This topic belonged to the Egyptians, and the Mosaic cycle was of the established religion of that day. So this was the established religion of the Egyptians of that day. You see the crescent? See those wings? Follow the eagle, man. So the Great Spirit moved on the earth, and the earth was conceived and brought forth. Mithra, Veda, mother of God, king spirits, the sons of me, were all Isu. I mean, it's going to get deep, man. So you see, we're going to get back into that China, Shinny situation. Oh, man. Got a whole chapter on me, Osiris. Osiris, being interpreted, is, I am the life, and the death. Out of myself made I all that live. Now you see why they're being judged. The sun I placed in the firmament. No. The earth is rotating around the sun. No, the sun I placed in the firmament. See, they want you to think the firmament is outer space. The firmament is the vibrational layer they can't get beyond, but they can't tell you that there's a layer they can't get beyond, so they tell you that the firmament is everywhere. What's this saying over here? We just belly flopping. We're going to get more of this. Just flow with me. Said, panic, Pan. Remember, Pan they said was the first name of America. Pan and Panic is a language. We're talking about languages. The sign of Aries, or an English letter T. The sign of wisdom, of gentleness, said, a lamb, a man's nose and eyebrows, the man who winneth by love, gentleness, a said, put, Ahad, Phones, Ahab, Ibra, Ahab, Hebrew, and said, rose up on the third day after the creation of the world and stood above the sun, the great spirit, Eoi, and said, this is my son. The corporal son, ye can behold at high noon, but my son said, standeth above this, all that are gentle and good draweth he to my kingdom. Nirvana, do not unto another what ye would not desire done unto you, or ye shall not behold, my son said, who standeth on my right hand. Alright, so this is a whole nother son situation before the Christ situation, where they're talking about being a lamb. Let's keep going. My son said, who standeth at my right hand, the earth is mine, said, by love will I redeem it. I said, Vede. I said, a sheep with a woman's face, symbol of love, gently or gentleness, let or lead, Hebrew, or as a lamb speaking, Anna, Hebrew, Baba, Shene. Alright, you already see. This is deep. is deep. This is deep. Get to Abraham, man. So this is the Book of Sapphire. Another one that really caught my attention, right away. And, man, we got this Algonquin popping back up, man. You already know. We got to look that up again, too. That Algonquin. So I'm just surfing the wave, as you can see. I'm doing it in real time with you. So this ain't the play. And it is a beautiful thing. I mean, man. Is it play is all I'm trying to say. I mean, we have some more tablets here. 12,000 years, 15,000 years, 18,000 years. So these might be star charts. Travel of the Great Serpent. I don't know what it's saying. Something about man's creation, showing also the Orion fields and the Ethra. So, man, 12,000 years, 15,000, 18,000 years. You let me know if this is play, man. All right, we're talking about cosmology and prophecy. So that's another book called Cosmology and Prophecy that we're going to dig on as well. All right, and don't forget the Algonquin drop. Back to the glossary. Algonquin. A sister left in the comments. She said, yeah, man, that was Algonquin, man. Right here. Algonquin. And according to this glossary, let me get it bigger. So I'm not tripping. Talking that yang on you. According to this, Algonquin. The United States of the North American Indians. Right. The United States of the North American Indians before their destruction by the Christians. So before the Christians came with their Christ, came with their Buddha, came with their Isus, came with their Zeus and the god of war and their Apollo and Abaddon and Apollyon. Before all that hijack. You were known as Algonquin, as one of many titles, right? It looks like an ox head right here. Ox head. The United States of the North American Indians before the destruction by the Christians. So now it's called the United States of America. Before it was called the United States of North American Indians. And that was before their destruction by the Christians. So, as we dig on it, man, and we get with it, or we get left on, we remember our orientation, man. Love to CD Fury, man, does great docs. He revisited his flat drop. And we're just going to jump right in it, man, and make our discount. I love y'all. We'll be right back with that Press John. We building for the community. We building for you. We staying up. We suiting up. We raising the vibration. We loving it, man. We loving where this is taking us, man. And I love y'all for validating the truth, man. We are the few. We are the mighty. Stay up. Let's just jump right in it, man.
It says the earth cannot be moved. It says the earth is a stationary circle. So Christians, I'm just wondering, do you guys believe in the Bible or NASA? Now here we have a 1,000-year-old map of the world which originated from a Japanese Buddhist temple. What I find interesting is not only does it resemble the flat earth map, but it has 33 continents outside of the Antarctic ice ring. Is it a coincidence that this looks similar to the 1781 map of the world? The 1892 Gleason Standard Map of the world?
Bang.
The Azimuthal Equidistant Map?
Bang.
The logos for the UN?
Bang.
The IMO?
Bang.
The WMO?
Bang.
The WHO?
Bang.
Is it just me, or is there anyone else seeing a pattern here?
Bang.
Well, at the end of the day, I'm not here to convince anyone when in 1988 NASA has admitted that the Earth is flat.
And that's the same document. You can click it below one of the many links. You just go all the way to the bottom and you'll see the same document, man. Look at it again.
The logos for the UN, the IMO, the WMO, the WHO. Is it just me, or is there anyone else seeing a pattern here? Well, at the end of the day, I'm not here to convince anyone.
NASA reference publication 1207, 1988. Click on the link. Just find it below. When you click show more, you'll see all the links. Go to the flat earth links. You'll find this. Derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model.
When in 1988 NASA has admitted that the Earth is flat.
This report documents the derivation and definition of...
flat.
They do it so fast. They just trying to jam us up.
Is it just me, or is there anyone else seeing a pattern here? Well, at the end of the day, I'm not here to convince anyone when in 1988 NASA has admitted that the Earth...
Alright, well, this derivation definition, mass flying object over a flat, non-rotating Earth. This linear system equivalent, both aircraft dynamics and observation. So this is what they've been testing and working on, their systems for mass flying over flat, non-rotating Earth. They're putting billions of dollars into what? Making linear, derivations and system equations for non-rotating Earths. Is that productive? Or are they letting you know that your Earth ain't rotating and they're putting their money into the actuality of things?
So now let's talk about why they said the Earth is flat. There's a couple bullet points I want to discuss. The first being NASA has proof